going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And today we finally have a chance to talk about the iconic arcade XXL home arcade cabinet. Because something finally happened. It feels like it's been forever since we've had any kind of real update or any kind of news about this yet to be released home arcade product at all. Now, for those of you that haven't been paying attention or don't know what I'm talking about, let's go ahead and pump the brakes, roll the clock back to January of this year, CES 2025 out there in Las Vegas, where they debuted the prototype of this new home arcade product, and I got to play a small part in that. I was able to put one of the cabinets together, hang out with other content creators, and talk to the people behind the scenes that actually put this thing together and made this thing possible. And one of those guys was John D., somebody who used to work for Arcade1Up. Now, what we're talking about here is basically what Arcade1Up used to call XLs, back when they made XLs. Basically, a 19-inch monitor, a little bit taller, a little bit wider, a little bit deeper, a little bit closer to the full-size arcades. Arcade1Up is fond of calling their initial 17-inch monitor-equipped arcade machines, cabinets, 3/4. I don't think that's really fair. I think the XL is much closer to 3/4 scale if you're talking about a full-size cab with a 25-inch monitor in it. So a lot of people have been wanting this XL form factor, or in this case, the XXL. I'm still not keen on the name. But anyway, in any event, this thing debuted, and very soon after January, after we had the rollout, and it was a lot of fun, we did videos talking about it, pre-orders went up, and you were able to pre-order this thing. Now, the cool thing is, well, I guess we can talk about it. The price was $700, $699. Okay, so maybe that's not the best. That is about in line with other offerings in this segment, in this space, but $700, we weren't sure about shipping and all that stuff. So it wasn't exactly bargain pricing, but okay, a lot of people were willing to take the chance, but then there's a lot of people that weren't willing to take the chance because of that $700 price tag. But no worries. They said, well, listen, you don't have to put all your money down. You can just put half your money down. So put $350 down. That'll lock in your pre-order, and away you go. And I thought that was pretty fair. But I never did it. And I talked about it at the time. After you get away from CES and the trade show and all the fun and the excitement, you sort of step back and you're like, what am I really pre-ordering? And I talked about this on my shows. The prototype was nice. The promise of a new day, right? The promise of a thing to come. But there was no UI. There was no official games list. We weren't even really sure if the official licensing from Capcom was going to, play nice with a Raspberry Pi just thrown into this thing. I mean, you and I both know, it's like anybody that's done any kind of modding in any way, shape, or form, Pis are not exactly, locked down, the most secure PCB in the world. So we thought, well, I mean, I don't know, is it still going to come equipped with that? Is it going to come equipped with cheaper buttons or sticks, or what's all that going to look like? And so I was anxiously awaiting more information. So my advice to everybody has always been, let's wait. I'm not quite there yet. It's what I want. Nobody else has made anything of this size. So I think it's something that the community really wants. I think everybody loves that XL sort of form factor, closer to a real 3/4 scale cabinet. All the surveys, all the questionnaires, all the poll questions on my show have always leaned that way for years now. So it's not a matter of they're not giving us what we want. I think they're giving us what we want. But I needed more detail before I could recommend it. Because like I said, without any UI, without really understanding the build quality underneath, locking down all the, the details that were really kind of important, I didn't feel like it made a lot of sense to, spend that $350 to pre-order this thing. I wanted to wait. And waiting I did. And I'm really happy I did, because this thing, it got closer and closer to June. June never happened. It was delayed, but it wasn't just, we didn't just get like a nice email or a big post telling us that with, months in advance. It was sort of just stumbled out and bumbled out and just last minute thrown out there. We had to find out from another YouTuber that it was going to be pushed to the Q4 of this year. So I'm like, well, definitely glad I didn't pre-order this thing yet, but things happen. The price didn't jump up. So I thought, okay, well, fine. Let's just wait and see what's going on. Well, when June came, the original release date of the cabinet, the people that put their $350 down were automatically charged the second $350. Now, that was not supposed to happen until the cabinet shipped. So that was a big problem. A lot of people got upset about that, and I agree. But from what I understand, everybody was refunded that second $350, but still definitely stumbling out of the gate. But the biggest thing for me is as June went beyond and bled into July, we hadn't heard anything. We hadn't heard no new artwork, no new anything, no new details, nothing. No new updates on the cabinets whatsoever. Nothing. So, I mean, I was definitely happy that I was not, didn't have my money tied up in some pre-order. And then after that pre-order debacle, pre-orders went down without any kind of fanfare, without any kind of notice. So, basically as things sit right now, you can't even pre-order this thing anyway, which I say, well, fine, because I didn't know what I was pre-ordering anyway. So let's get to the news at hand. What happened today? Well, not an announcement to the general public, not an announcement to the people that are part of their fan club or the fan page, any of the groups on Facebook, none of that. It came in the form of an email to the people that have pre-ordered the Street Fighter II arcade cabinet, because back in the original reception of this cabinet, I think the Alpha 2 version of this cabinet, for the most part, was well received. The artwork on the side was, I think it looks a lot better. I was really wanting to get that version of the cabinet, but it never really had a true arcade release, so there was really no way to slight the original or disgrace the original arcade legacy of that cabinet, because it didn't really have its own dedicated cabinet. But Street Fighter II absolutely did. And when the artwork came out for that, there was a lot of rumblings, a lot of discussion. A lot of people were disappointed in that artwork. So a promise was made early on that we were gonna vote. We were gonna come up with some different versions of the art, and you could all vote on this. Well, that's what hit pre-order holders of the Street Fighter II inbox. That's what happened. That's the update. It's, hey, guess what, guys? We're still on track. Don't worry. Q4 is definitely going to happen. And, oh, by the way, we wanted you to go ahead and vote on the side art. So that's what happened. Now, like I said, if you don't currently have a pre-order of that cabinet, you would never know. But luckily, we have good community members that decided to take this, screenshot it, and post it in these Facebook groups, these fan groups, so that we know at least something's going on. There's some signs of life. So let's go ahead and look at the image right now. Here are the 6 different variations of the artwork that we can take a look at right now. I'll go ahead and tell you right now, the number 1, all the way on the left-hand side, that was the original artwork. And there's something to be said. We'll just look at that for a second right now. You can decide if you like that or not. But one thing I am going to pick apart, it's not just that they've given us different, 6 different versions, but you can see that they've done a few other things that kind of give us a hint as far as where they are in the developmental process of this cabinet. You can see that there is a seam, a horizontal seam, just below Ryu's neck, right on his shoulder. So look at that first image right there. There is now a seam. Now, the original prototypes were one-piece design. Prototypes, remember? So they weren't designed to be flat-packed and all that. So there's a little telltale sign of, okay, that's definitely a change. And also, if you look at the variations of the artwork, like if you look at artwork, the 3 through 6, look at the white part of that artwork. You're going to see those black circles. Those are going to be screw hole covers. So now they've added screw hole covers, something that was missing from the original. So that is something different. Now, I mean, I'm just assuming if this is the way it's going to go, then that also tells me that those screw hole covers are also black and they're not going to be color matched. So that could be kind of disappointing, and that could kind of mess with the artwork. But as far as the artwork and how it goes and what I want, I don't think anybody's going to be shocked to hear me say that I prefer number 2. Now, I've heard a lot of people talking about they think they like number 3 is probably better. A lot of people are saying 3 is the best of both worlds. It combines everything. But to me, that's not arcade accurate at all. And if you're looking for an arcade sort of recreation, number 2 is absolutely where it's at. And I think a lot of other people, well, maybe not a lot, I don't know exactly which way this is going to go. I think there's a good portion of people that are also liking and digging on number 2. But if it turns out to be number 3 or any one of the other ones win, that's going to be kind of disappointing, because I think that number 2 is the only one that really truly pays homage to that original cabinet from back in the day. It's going to be just a missed opportunity if they go with something else. But if you just, looking at the different variations and versions up there, you got a 1 in 6 chance of getting that original artwork on the side. There's a lot of other options out there. I'm afraid that number 2 may not have the best chance, and that will absolutely be disappointing. But the biggest disappointment to me is not really the artwork. The artwork is important, don't get me wrong, but it is the least of my concerns. all my concerns are wrapped up in the things that are really going to bother you if you buy this cabinet. Like, is it going to have a janky, ugly looking UI that's not smooth? It doesn't navigate properly. Is it funky? Is it clunky? How are the buttons? How are the sticks? What's the final games list? Is it going to be a Raspberry Pi or not? What are the overall dimensions? We were also talking about the original prototypes had washed out marquees. Has that also been fixed? There's so many other questions to be answered. And, this is, while I guess it's one sort of step in the right direction, this is also coming, 9 months later. So in 9 months, all we have finally seen from this company is, hey, pick the side art. And unfortunately for me, that's just not enough to move the needle. Now, unfortunately, the real bummer is that, let's say they knocked this out of the park and they had all the details I wanted, I still can't pre-order the cabinet. So talk about messing up an initial rollout of a brand new product line. And I hope that they can correct this. And maybe, listen, I think that it would be great if they give us exactly what they promised. And then everybody that has their money wrapped up in this pre-order is totally satisfied. That's the best outcome. That's what I want for everybody. And then what would even be better is if maybe they get this thing into retail and you have the ability to buy this at retail. And even if it's a little bit more, let's say it's $50 more, and I decided to go ahead and buy it, I'm not going to feel bad about that at all. I would rather spend another $50 and know exactly what I'm getting. I've said that from the beginning. That's where I stay right now. So while this doesn't really impress me, at least it is some movement. It is a pulse, It is some signs of life. And I guess that is better than nothing. Anyway, let me know what you think about this in the comments section below. What do you think about all this? Is this a product that you've just given up on? Or are you super excited that finally there's something? And most importantly, tell me in the comments section, which artwork do you like the most? And if you don't say 2, well, then you're just wrong. Thanks so much for stopping by and checking out the channel. Y'all have a blessed day, and I will see all of you next time. Come on. 2 is obviously the right answer.